Dear Cosmo babies, this week we have a very, very special episode that I am so incredibly excited about. And we have an incredibly special guest with us that we are going to talk about beauty changes lives and all of the amazing ways that students can get involved and get scholarships for cosmetology schools. I am your host, Annie MacArthur, and I have my co-host here, Russell Mays, and our very special guest, Meghan from Beauty Changes Lives. Welcome, Meghan.
Yay.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
So just to get us started, will you kind of give an overview of what Beauty Changes Lives is?
Yes, of course. So Beauty Changes Lives is a nonprofit organization dedicated to making careers in beauty and wellness a first choice career. That is at our heart. We want to elevate everyone in these beautiful careers and give you the tools and the resources that you need to make the most out of it.
Russell, did you get muted again?
No, I'm here. I think so. I'm here. No, that's very straightforward. That's a very, worthy idea, worthy cause. I was thinking about this earlier that I was watching this guy on YouTube who goes around and has cordless clippers and goes around and finds homeless people and, cuts their hair and tries to, uplift them and give something back to the community. And I thought that not only does the career affect people in that way and the giving back, but it also affects the person who is giving. And it has such a low point of entry that with a little bit of help, a lot of people can really get in and make more of their lives than just wallowing in the mire of discontent and issues that they have and not being able to get in and not knowing. So I think this is a great idea to help people, not only financially, but also how to get in and how to build a career out of it. I think it's genius.
Absolutely. So many of the people that we end up serving are coming to cosmetology and coming to careers in beauty as a second career. They're later in life career changes because, as we all heard, go to college, get a degree, get a job, and then you can think about what you would like to do. And, they don't realize that they get stuck in these ruts and they're in their corporate settings and they're just miserable. And they're like, oh, I've always wanted to do this, but I can't make any money doing that. Well, yes, you can. Absolutely. Yes, you can. If you put in the work and you pay attention to the opportunities around you, hair and nails and skin and barbering can have a very lucrative career, and you can support yourself and your family.
Absolutely. It's pretty interesting so far. Like, we obviously are still in the infancy of our podcast currently, but a lot of the people that we've had on so far have been second career hairdressers. They have gone to school later in life. They have made that decision based off of the original, traditional path that most of us are kind of pushed towards from our parents. And I think a lot of us, including me, because I went back later in my 20s to go to cosmetology school, I think we just really realized that it's like, no, we are these creative people that need this creative outlet and also an ability to work with our local communities, work with people on a bigger platform, and be able to give back in other ways from that creative aspect. And it's so difficult for us to stop those careers and be like, how are we going to afford this? How are we going to go back to school? Like, I am supporting myself. I am supporting a family potentially. Like, how do I now completely stop the momentum and pivot completely to do this? And I think that's where, enter Beauty Changes Lives.
How does somebody go about finding out information about this?
So we actually, the center of what Beauty Changes Lives does is scholarships to beauty school and to cosmetology schools and every beauty and wellness discipline. If you go to an accredited program in any of those disciplines, your school is eligible. So that's something that's very important to know, is a lot of people don't even know that there are scholarships to beauty schools, but that is the bread and butter of what we do. We also have programs to serve once you're licensed. We have mentorships, we have, advanced career opportunities, but what we really pride ourselves on is the scholarship aspect. We work in quarters. So we have a winter, spring, summer, or fall for all my Gilmore friends out there. Every season we do different scholarships. For instance, right now we have 11 scholarship opportunities across all the disciplines totaling $75,000 that we're giving out in this 4-month quarter. So each one is between $2,500 and $15,000. You could go to beautychangeslives.org right now and apply for a $15,000 scholarship that could cover your education. Absolutely. And really springboard you into your career.
Yeah. And something to keep in mind too, to people that are listening, when you go to an accredited school, typically that's where you're going to find a slightly higher price point than a school that is either private or family owned or something like that. And so $15,000 is that is a huge burden of relief. Just take right off.
We have such amazing supporters from the community. These scholarships are funded by the families that built the industry. Mm-hmm. For instance, that $15,000 scholarship is funded by the Sidell and Arnold Miller Foundation. And if you don't know those names, Google them, because they are behind some of the biggest brands in beauty. And they saw this opportunity to give back to the future beauty professionals through scholarships. So the people that have made it really want to see you make it. They're so supportive. They want you to be successful.
Mm-hmm. So what's required to qualify for one of these scholarships?
So each individual scholarship has their own qualifications, which you can see all of that on our website. But at a minimum, you must be 18 years or older. And the money is paid out when you've hit 50% of your program. So you can apply the second you are accepted into school. You don't even have to have started yet. But if you have that acceptance letter, you can apply for one of these scholarships. And we do encourage people to apply very early, because if you don't get selected in that season, we do give you kind of a heads up of, hey, the next application timeline is right here. Try again. Please try again. We pay them out when you've hit 50% of your schooling, but you can apply as soon as you know that's where you're going. As long as you are still enrolled at the end of the season, you can be almost done and you can still apply. So if you are in school, going to school, apply for a scholarship.
That's amazing. And I think that's where a lot of people get a little, confused when it comes to scholarships in the cosmetology world, because a lot of traditional style scholarships, you have to apply beforehand, and Beauty Changes Lives, you can wait and you don't not wait, but you can apply up to the end of your schooling, which I think is so incredible, because a lot of traditional scholarship programs don't have that option, and it really does help out people, because sometimes financial burdens happen in the middle of school and you're not really sure what to do. And it's so easy just to be able to apply for that scholarship and really help.
Absolutely.
Our application process is actually a video. So it's a 3-minute video, and you answer 3 to 5 questions that are basically, what would receiving this scholarship do for you? How did you, get interested in the career, and what inspires you? And a lot of people in those videos say, something happened in my life where I had to drop out of school, or, I had to go back to my full-time job because I couldn't pay for it. Mm-hmm. So that is definitely a common thing that we see. And we're so happy to be able to help get those people back on track to their career goals.
Something that I also love, because there's so many things I love about Beauty Changes Lives, but one of the things that I really love about it is that you talked about mentorship previously. And so if you are already out of school, you can apply for mentorship with one of the Beauty Changes Lives mentors. And some of the mentors were scholarship recipients. And I love that. It really does, that giving back portion of it is it really is incredible, because the people whose lives were originally changed from those scholarships are now able to be these incredible hairdressers that are able to mentor the next generation, which I love so much and I find so incredible.
Yeah, we like to say that we're coming along with you on your entire career journey, from finding the right school, because we have a school finder tool on our website, from finding the right school to paying for school to, mentorship once you get out. Then we have advanced education opportunities, all the way up to our newest program, which is called the Worth Up Alliance, that is giving business grants to beauty professionals who want to start their own business, because that is an area that traditionally banks don't necessarily want to give you a big loan for opening your own salon or things like that. So there's this opportunity to support beauty entrepreneurs. And we really love supporting you through your entire career.
Absolutely. I feel very lucky. I got to be in the room during the pitch of the last Worth Up Alliance selection, the people that were at the top and about to get rewarded. Got to be there while they were pitching all of their ideas and their dreams and their hopes and why they wanted to receive these funding opportunities. And it is just the most amazing spot that you can be in to hear these stories from people and hear what they want to do in their careers and how they want to better the industry and give back and do more. And it's just, oh my gosh, I think it's one of my personal favorite parts about the industry is just the people that are so incredibly passionate who are involved in it.
Yeah, that actually got us in trouble because the founders, Ted Gibson and Jason Bakke, were the ones who were kind of facilitating the pitches. And we had the top 5 and we had it narrowed down. And we just could not fathom sending the bottom 2 home with nothing. So the top 3 got the same, amounts that they were going to get. It was a $10,000, a $5,000, and a $5,000. And then Ted and Jason were like, well, I can't say they can't get anything. They came all the way. They made this pitch. So they each got an additional $2,500 each just for being a part of it towards their goals. And it was like, guys, this is amazing and heartwarming, but
expensive.
there's rules we're supposed to follow. But everyone was so passionate and so, involved in their journey and wanting to be business owners that we just had to help them. So that's kind of speaks to the character of the people behind Beauty Changes Lives.
Absolutely.
We just want to see everyone succeed.
Exactly. And it truly was to be in that room, especially the portion where the prizes were handed out and the looks on the people's faces when they realized that they were not going to leave empty-handed. I don't know if there was a dry eye in the room because it was that powerful of a moment. And I think that's what a lot of people, especially Cosmo babies and people who are new to the industry, they don't realize all of this bigger picture things that happen and the opportunities that are available to them. And it just, those moments are just the most incredible moments for when people truly get what they need.
I got there at the very end of them handing everything out because I was lost. I don't know where I was. And I finally got there and I walk in. I'm like, why is everybody crying? What's going on here? This is supposed to be happy, joyful, and everybody's crying. Oh my gosh. And I realized, it's happy tears. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Happy tears. And now we get to stay connected to those winners and watch their businesses grow and then support them. And one of our very first Worth Up Alliance winners is now a mentor, just like you mentioned. So it's really full circle and keeping it going, paying it forward. And it's just beautiful to watch.
So in a year, what is typically how much is available usually in one calendar year for students to be able to access?
Yeah. So right now we have 75,000 open. Our biggest season is usually our fall season. Last fall, we did over 150,000 we gave out. And in calendar 2022, we gave out over $500,000 in beauty school scholarships. Everything from a $2,500 scholarship up to those $15,000 scholarships. And we have changed over 800 lives. We've given out over 800 scholarships since our inception. It is actually our birthday. Beauty Changes Lives turned 10 this year.
Amazing.
So in those 10 years, to be able to say we've given out $3 million in beauty school scholarships to over 800 individuals. We also did COVID grants when people were really struggling. We pulled together what we could and did some COVID grants, and we've really just leaned into it. Like I mentioned, we started as scholarships, and once we really got that down, we branched out and we're like, okay, what's the next thing that they need? How can we support them in their next step? And that's how each of these programs grew into existence.
And part of the reason that I bring up the overall amount of funding is because I think people tend to get a little down on themselves, oh, well, I won't qualify for that. Or if I submit, they won't pick me. There is plenty to go around. There are so many opportunities, just apply. If you were even thinking about applying, apply. apply for it.
Absolutely.
Put in that application, go through the process, follow the steps, do what they're asking for, because there is money available.
Absolutely. And this season, you have until February 28th to apply for our winter season. And our next season starts March 1st.
I love that.
I'm going to go apply right now. Hang on just a second here.
Do you have your acceptance letter?
I know I will get it though. I will work towards it. I believe.
Russell went to so many cosmetology schools. I'm sure there's an acceptance letter sitting around somewhere.
Yeah, that's a story we don't need to get into again. When you were talking about how other people, it's their second career, I'm thinking, well, if you count all the times that my father fired me from the salon, this is like my sixth career in the same industry, in the same salon. You're fired.
We're so lucky. I come from a hair family as well. So I never really experienced that stigma of that it's not a real career. My mom is licensed for over 40 years. She owned her own salon as well. So I kind of like grew up into it. Mm-hmm. But it also was for me a second career, because I got my license in high school, but then I went to college and got a degree, and then I still wasn't happy. So I kind of melded my two things together. And now from the corporate side, I have found the perfect position where I get to support all the Cosmo babies and support all the beauty professionals from this side of the chair, because you don't want me to cut your hair.
Now, to be a part of the mentoring program, do you have to have been a recipient of one of the scholarships, or is that something that you can apply for if you've already graduated?
As long as you are a licensed beauty professional, you are eligible for our mentorship program.
Oh, okay. So that's a good thing. I think the hardest part once you get out of school is making that transition into a working career. Mm-hmm. And everyone poo-poos going and working at a quick service salon, and they all want to go work at, the big fancy starring in Beverly Hills, but you can't get in there. It's hard to get in. I think that mentoring and that transition is probably a really great thing. And how successful has that been for you guys?
So last season, we completely revamped our mentorship program, and I started taking a before and after poll of before, career satisfaction. Where are you at? Why are you looking for mentorship? And it was a lot of, if I don't get some help or figure out where I'm going, I'm going to quit. Mm-hmm. And by the end of our 6-month program, we had 90 to 100% saying, I'm going to be a beauty professional for at least 10 more years, if not my entire career. They just needed someone to show them that you can get through this, help them work out what seems like an impossible problem, and just put a goal in place and start working towards it. That was, for me, the most impactful stat that came out of it. We also had 80% say that they were going to stay in touch with their mentor beyond the 6-month mentorship program, because they grew a friendship, they grew camaraderie. And a lot of our mentors actually say that they learned so much from their mentees as well, because it's the new people coming into the industry with a fresh perspective, new problems, new ideas, and these industry icons like Candy Shaw is one of our mentors. Like, these amazing people are investing their time and they're learning from the Cosmo babies as well. So it's turned into this amazing relationship that we've grown. Technically, they have to connect once a month for 1 hour. But if you ask any of them, they're like texting with each other every day, or they're DMing each other at least once a week. So I say once a month, and it becomes this ongoing relationship.
Right.
It's amazing. I can see the wheels turning in Russell's head. So how does someone become a mentor?
We have an official application on our website, but you're also welcome to just email me, and we can put my information anywhere that you would like, and anywhere that is convenient. Because I personally pair each of our mentors and mentees. The mentee application is also a video saying why you want this mentorship, what you need help with. And then I pair them with mentors that either have that skill set or will challenge each other to come together and find the best solutions. So we are always looking for more mentors. We had far more mentee applications than mentors, and we were looking to grow the program.
So if I apply to be a mentor, can I still apply to get a scholarship?
As long as you are
Russell.
currently attending school.
Did my internal voice become external voice? Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed.
Russell, you don't
I thought you were
qualify for
going
the
somewhere else
scholarship.
with that. I thought you were going somewhere else with that, because we actually, this season, we have our first individual who is both a mentor and a mentee.
Oh, amazing.
She came in as a mentor, and she, I have every faith that she's going to be an amazing mentor, but she came to me and she said, I'm always learning as well. Can I possibly do both? Can I learn from someone as well? And I was like, I don't know how that's going to go, but let's try it.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to raise my hand for that, because I have secretly always wanted to be a mentor with Beauty Changes Lives. And I'm like, there are probably so many amazing mentors. Like, I want to be a mentee too, because yes, we are always growing and learning, and there is never a cap for how much that we can be better of ourselves. And oh my gosh, I'm going to sign up for both.
I'm really excited to see that experience unfold.
Yeah, that's going to be really awesome.
Just trying to teach somebody something that you do that has become so automatic, and trying to break it down and to teach it to someone who doesn't have the same automatic, fundamentals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it forces you to dial in your focus on what you're doing and make what you're doing get better, and fine tune what you're doing, trying to teach it to somebody else. Because then they'll ask you a question like, wait, I never thought about that. And so
why do I do it this way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And a lot of our mentor and mentee pairs are not in the same city. So it's all virtual, and you can't even put your hand on their hand and say no, hold it this way.
Yeah.
You have to really think it through and explain.
Mm-hmm.
So location wise, where are people eligible? Is it all of North America? Is it just the US?
Scholarships are legal residents of the United States and Canada. Mentorship is also US and Canada. We have a separate mentorship program with C&D and Coupa. That's a nails mentorship. And that one is actually global. So keep an eye out for that one as well.
That's so awesome. I feel like Canada gets forgotten about a lot when we talk about a lot of things happening within the industry in the US primarily. And so I think that that's such an incredible opportunity, because the industry, it really is such a global industry. And so be able to reach a larger audience and have people paired up in industries that are legally different, I think opens the doors for a lot more opportunity.
Yes. So the Canadian eligible applications do have a few different questions, obviously, but they are available to our Canadian students.
Being that you are a hairdresser yourself, and then you're working for this organization, and you've touched so many different lives, what advice would you give to a new beauty school student or someone just going into the industry?
A very inappropriate meme is coming to mind right now. I mean, haters gonna hate, potatoes gonna potate. You do what you do if it makes you happy. I think, in all honesty, believe in yourself and others will follow. If you do the work, if you continue your education, you will be successful. It's cliche to say that you can take your license anywhere, but you really can. And it's going to be tough. There's going to be some times that aren't all glamorous, but if you keep at it, it really will be beautiful.
Stick to the path. Stay on the road. Keep one foot in front of the other.
Don't get distracted by all the shiny things and all the naysayers. It is a valid and valuable career, and we need you, and we want you to be successful.
Besides just the student scholarships, the mentorship opportunities for licensed professionals, and the Worth Up Alliance business grants, how else can people get involved? Because I know that there are shows that Beauty Changes Lives is at. There are events that they can go to. What other ways can people maybe take a peek behind the curtain?
Absolutely. So the kind of fourth tenet in our journey is also our advanced education opportunities. And right now we have an opportunity for people to, licensed professionals, to learn from Sue Pemberton, who is an amazing colorist. And
I love Sue Pemberton.
That is a currently open opportunity for folks to apply for. And that is, I think, a 6-month program that you learn everything. If you complete this whole program, you're going to win NAHA next year. But that's a current opportunity that is out there. As far as where you can get involved, the number one way that people can get involved with Beauty Changes Lives is to spread the mission, to let other people know that we exist. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Facebook, and let your friends and family know that these opportunities are there. We will be at ABS Chicago this year, so you can come say hi. And we will be, out there sharing the mission, sharing the opportunities, and look for us to be popping up at several little smaller shows across the country this year as well. So I'm really excited. I've got my bags packed. I'm going to be spreading the BCL mission everywhere I can.
Yes, I love that. So beyond just following on Instagram, I have seen that you guys also have subscriptions available. And can you tell us a little bit about that as well?
So we actually are one of the first nonprofits that were entered into the subscription platform. So we actually have it set up $5 a month, and all of that funding goes directly into scholarships and programs to keep Beauty Changes Lives on our journey of supporting all beauty professionals. So if you have that available in your budget and you can spare that $5 a month to go back to the industry, we would really appreciate that so that we can keep these amazing programs going.
I love that. It's such an easy way to also be able to give back, which I think is so cool.
Yeah, that's great. And it's $5 a month. It's not that big a deal, but it helps a lot.
We like to say, that's one less fancy coffee a month, but to some people, that one fancy coffee is very important. So if it is in your budget, we appreciate it. If not, we understand, and just keep sharing the mission.
For our final question, because I love to ask this question all the time to most people. What advice now would you have given yourself back in beauty school?
Ooh, in beauty school, I was very lucky. I got to go to beauty school in high school, so I was only about 18. I would say awesome. continue learning, because you're never going to come out of beauty school knowing everything. To be a successful business owner, to be successful behind the chair, you have to keep learning.
I think that's like the most important thing in this industry, like in general, is never stop learning ever.
Yeah.
Like my mother, who I mentioned has been licensed forever, used to come in and teach us different things. She would come into my beauty school and take over the classroom for the day.
That's awesome.
My instructors were always like, all right, you got this. You go ahead.
That's awesome. That's great.
That is awesome.
At the time, it was semi-mortifying, but now I think going back, I'd be like, oh, that's awesome. Your mom is here teaching your class.
Yeah.
I
do have to say, though, I am so excited about this thing that you're doing with Sue Pemberton. And I know that people are obviously listening to the audio of this podcast, but if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, you will have seen my face light up. I am just over the moon about Sue Pemberton. She is one of the most talented colorists in this industry. Mm-hmm. And I remember the first time I got to meet her in person, I was doing red carpet at NAHA many moons ago, and I saw her down, and I was like, oh gosh, she's gonna come up. I'm gonna have to interview Sue Pemberton. And when she came up, I could not get the words to come out of my mouth, so I just started to cry. And I felt so silly.
And a half, honestly.
She really
I got
is
to have
just
a call
the
with her. Yeah, I got to have a call with her setting up the advanced education opportunity, and she is down to business. She knows what she wants, and then it's just giggles, and she's so excited to be giving back, and she wants everyone to do well. But it was just some of the things that come out of her mouth were shocking.
She really just,
I love her. I'm so happy.
Yes, she's so talented. And it's the people who get the opportunity to work with her are just, oh my gosh, to be a fly on the wall during that would just, that's incredible. That's such an incredible opportunity. And people are
you don't have to be a fly. You could apply.
I know. Or I may just need to figure out where you guys are at and just, hair nerd.
Just show up. That's what I just show up. Uninvited, just show up.
Yes.
You two are always on my back pocket VIP list. Don't worry about it.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing all the great things that Beauty Changes Lives is doing in the industry and giving us a heads up on how, all of our listeners can be a part of that. So Thank you so much for coming. I'm Russell Mays, your co-host, and the host is Annie MacArthur.
That's me.
Yay! Hi. Leave us a review on iTunes or Spotify. Click subscribe. Let us know what you want to see in future podcasts, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Thank you.